The show must go on.
Rafi's tips for artists because he loves you.
Hola, you amazing artist, and welcome to the studio. The studio is a mess, but like a true YouTuber, I do have a camera in the background just randomly there. So now I'm legit. In this video, I want to talk about putting together a solo exhibition. The reason I'm bringing this up and the reason that the studio is a complete and utter disaster is because we just hung up my show. It's a rogue artist show, so there are no rules.
Hey, buddy, you gotta put your shirt back on now.
There's one rule. One rule. That is going to be at Luna Fine Art Gallery. And by the way, the reception is on the 29th from 6 to 8 p.m. And that is at the Hilton on Pensacola Beach. So if you happen to find yourself in Pensacola and you're like, yeah, I want to come and see. A lot of artists have contacted us nervous, completely nervous, because they don't know how the process works. So I figured I'd give you my 5 things that you really want to focus on whenever you're putting together an art show, or if you're doing an exhibition with a gallery. These are all the things that you want to think about. I like keeping things simple, so that's why there's only 5. And honestly, there's not much else that I worry about when I'm putting a show together. Okay, so let's get into it. Selection, selection, selection. Select your artwork. That is the first thing that you want to really focus on when you're putting an art show together, right? Some people do the theme first. I like to take a look at the art, lay all the art out, and really think about what the theme is for the show, and then come up with a cool title. For this particular show, the gallery directors came out to the studio and basically looked at all the artwork, picked which ones they wanted for the show, which ones really were telling a story to them. And then basically I sat here for an hour and was filmed talking about life.
How has the pandemic affected your work?
I did an hour-long monologue of Rafi's rambles. So you know I was in my element there. If you're doing the show by yourself, obviously you're going to be picking the work yourself, and you know your artwork pretty good, so like, you know the overarching theme of it. You got to have a theme. If you don't have a theme, then your show is... If you're doing the show yourself, the first thing you're going to want to do is actually pick the venue. That way you know how much artwork you're going to be bringing out and how big the space is and where it's located and how you're going to promote it and all that stuff, right? So that's something that you look at when you're doing the venue. Now, because this is a gallery, we already knew what the venue was going to be. On the 29th, I will have my reception here and have 40 pieces of art. So apparently I'm getting my picture taken, which I was not ready for. I think I would have done more with my beard or my face, you know?
Beard face?
Beard face.
Yeah, it is gonna be awesome. Yeah, awesome.
That's gonna be awesome. I had to relinquish control, which apparently I have a hard time with. The other thing, when you're selecting the work too, think about being diverse with your work, right? Because a lot of people get really hung up on like, well, it should be one thing or whatever. All your work tells a story. So like, let's say you do sculptures or you do different types of work, just pick your favorite pieces. Pick the pieces that you really think speak for you and that you want to show off in the show. I know, I say the word story, and the moment that I say the word story, some of you out there are going to be like, I don't have a story, Rafi. You got to have a theme. If you don't have a theme, you know, what are people going to come... You gotta have a theme. Look at my face. It's okay to have like diverse pricing. In fact, I'm a big fan of that. I like having things that are much more affordable and then things that are very expensive. But also you want to take a look at where the venue is, because in context, you always want to keep pricing in mind in context. I have videos on pricing, but honestly, pricing is such a personal thing, and my biggest advice there is price things at a place where you feel comfortable, you feel like you're not being taken advantage of, and that you're not taking advantage of the buyer as well. Like, just be honest with your pricing. So you've got your artwork, you've got your theme, you're ready to go. And how do I get the stuff out to the venue? Because the artwork is not going to magically teleport there, because, man, wouldn't that be amazing? It's got to go from point A to point B safely. Transparently. transportation. I am actually surprised that I get so many messages from artists asking me to do a video on how to transport my work. There was a totally different process on the way that I transport my work for this show. Usually I have like bins. I could store these under tables and things like that and have extra artwork in there. But really that's what I do. Like you just kind of like lay the artwork in there gently. And if you want to separate them, you can with like wax paper or plastic or something. Whatever way you could get it out there. And then bigger pieces I just stack on top of each other. So that's how I get artwork out to shows, as simply and as quickly as I can. The cool thing is that when you have this too, because a lot of times you have to park somewhere and then walk a bit to get to where you're going to set up, I'm able to put these on dollies and just roll them instead of carrying a bunch of pieces of artwork individually. Depends on the work. Like, is it wet? Is it dry? Does it need to be wrapped? Does it need to not be wrapped? So, I mean, you really got to determine that for yourself when you're transporting the work. The only thing I would think about is how can you make the process as easy as possible? So they're going to be here in about 4 hours, and I have 40 works of art to wrap, right, for them. So, yeah, I'm still got to drink some coffee and get ready. This is so like official and fancy. It's fancy. Usually when we do a show, we just like throw stuff in there. This is way fancier. So the first thing we're gonna have to do is clean up in here, make room. We got it in this room.
Yeah. Now all we have to do is wrap every single one.
With this particular show, all the pieces were wrapped, and I made sure that I wrapped them and put them in bulk because they were going to be transporting them. And because of that, the corners needed to be protected. I mean, that's something that you want to take a look at when you're transporting work anyway, that the corners be protected. But I mean, this time, because somebody else was transporting my work, I think it was overkill. So now I've got pieces of cardboard, and I think I'm going to cut these and maybe use these on the corners and just tape them onto the corners to protect them. For this particular show, I have a giant piece that does not fit in our vehicle. So last time I moved it around, we tied it to the side of the car, and it was just...
I just spun the camera around all crazy. I gotta get back my cameraman woe skills. Okay, here it goes. The big one.
Moment of truth.
I'm following behind you.
Yeah,
So we'll see what.
Ooh, I think it might just. Oh, man. Like a glove.
That's amazing. It fit.
It fit.
And a part that not a lot of people think about is that you're going to be moving the artwork and hanging the artwork up for your show. So you want to keep all those things in mind. Do you need like nails or stuff, or are you not allowed to use nails if you're doing your own venue? How is it that the artwork is going to hang? These are things that you got to think about ahead of time when you're looking at the space. Now, because the gallery was taking care of all of that, then I didn't have to worry about that part of the transportation. I wasn't there. You want to think about when you're transporting the art, how you're going to transport the art, and how you're going to hang the art. The third thing is promotion. Once you pick your theme, you want to make sure that you start putting all the promotional material together. You want to write your story. You want to come up with engaging titles. You want to have things that are going to catch people's attention and their curiosity. I don't have a story, Rafi. Promotion. Unless you let people know that your show is going to happen, nobody's going to come. That's what it's infuriating to me. I don't understand why nobody shows up to my show. So bad. My artwork's so bad. Everybody hates it. That's not the reason people are not showing up to your show. People are not showing up to your show because nobody knows that it's going on. One of the mistakes that I see artists making all the time when they're trying to promote their show is that they think like, oh, I'm going to write a blog and let all my subscribers know. And honestly, you have to think on a multi-tiered. When I'm promoting a show, I do all of it. I do a blog, I do videos, I do posts on social media, I do flyers, I do posters, I do whatever it is that it takes to get more stuff out there so that more people are aware of the show. Usually when I'm doing promoting for a show, like I'll start maybe 2 months in advance and do like little teasers and stuff leading up to it. Honestly, with this show, because I've been so busy with the marketing book, I didn't do any marketing. But I mean, as long as you do something to make people aware, and the shorter the time span, the more out there you want it to be, the more you want to like get it out in front of as many people as possible, so that some people, the people that are interested in going, the people that don't want to miss it, that they have an opportunity to show up to your show. The fourth thing is the impression of the show itself. And this happens while you're hanging it, but this is what you want. You want the show to tell a story. I don't have a story, right? You want there to be a beginning, a middle, and an end. Is this telling me a story, or is just a bunch of artwork just thrown up? Like, you don't want it to just be a bunch of artwork thrown up. You want it to leave, you know, an impression on the person. Another question I get all the time is like, what kind of refreshments should I have at my show? And I'm like, I don't know. What is your show about? What refreshments do you want there? When there is a theme and a story, you want it to be more than just the artwork. You want to think about that with your refreshments. This show in particular, the gallery is doing the reception, so I know that there's going to be a wet bar and there's going to be a bunch of food and different things like that. So that's cool, because, you know, when a gallery's taking care of that, that's where they earn their percentage. I don't want to do a gallery because they take too much money. And it's like, yeah, but they're also doing all the upfront costs and things like that. Finally, the last one is be bold. Have fun. Man, so many people get so uppity when they're putting a show together and take themselves massively serious. And my advice is just have fun. Have a showstopper. Have opportunities. Have things that have photo options. Have things that people will be able to take a picture with. Have something that is going to be a head turner or a head scratcher. For this show, recently I had done the video on the invisible sculptures, and then I released 100 invisible sculptures around the town of Pensacola, and I got a bunch of pictures of people that found the invisible sculptures. And so at this show, we're doing limited edition invisible sculptures as well, just to add that fun. And you want to think about those things when you're putting together a show. You want to think outside of the box. There are so many art shows that I see people put together, and I get it. You're nervous or whatever, and you're thinking to yourself like, oh, this needs to be perfect. And you have this idea in your mind of an art show, and it's all bland and boring and just the white walls. We have such license as artists to be just freaking weird. And I feel like a lot of people are just, if I'm weird and somebody actually pays attention, that makes me feel weird. Okay, you are weird. Just do it. You want to have fun. You want to have fun with your show. This is your opportunity to express yourself. Have fun your way, though. Don't do things that I do. Do things that you would do that would make the event as much fun as possible for you. Fun things where you're stretching outside of your comfort zone. In this particular show, Clee's actually going to do some public speaking, because they're going to do all this like speaking stuff before the show. And she is terrified of public speaking.
So my hands are sweaty and I have vertigo and my whole face is dry right now. But at the same time, I'm really excited to do this. So I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it.
You're gonna do it. Yeah. Those are the 5 things that I keep in mind in order to make a show successful for myself, whether it is a gallery that's putting it on or I'm putting it on myself. I think about those 5 things. Obviously, there's a bunch of other things that you could think of, and like I said, that's in my other video. But those are the 5 things that I think really matter ultimately when you're putting a show together. What is your story? The artwork should reflect that. The show itself, the venue, everything should reflect that. And most importantly, you having a good time at your show. Okay, well, hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Hopefully you found that helpful. Obviously, this doesn't cover everything that's going on, but it does cover the 5 points that I think are important to keep an eye on. Listen, if you guys have any advice, if you've put together your own shows or you have any tips and tricks of your own, go ahead and leave those in the comment section below. And a big shout out to the patrons. I love you guys. You guys are awesome. Thank you for your support. You guys have been so great during the time that I've been doing this book, and with recent changes that are going to be happening that you guys know about. And I want to thank all of you for watching. You guys are absolutely freaking amazing. I totally adore you. And if you like this video and you'd like to watch more like this, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. I think. And if you want to subscribe, go ahead and click right over here to subscribe, and that's it. I think you guys are amazing. I will talk to you later. Adios.